Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to At America. Thank you. At America is the U.S. Embassy's American Center, and here we have a mission to provide a space for young Indonesians to learn more about the United States. And hello, everyone. My name is Patricia Elizabeth. I am one of the e-guide here, and I'll be your host for today's special event, A Journey Through Sound. To celebrate the 75th anniversary of Indonesia-U.S. bilateral relations, At America present American cello duo Empire Wild. This evening, we will watch captivating music and discussion as the two cellists blend pop, folk, jazz, and classical sounds in their innovative compositions. To begin with, we're about to hear opening remarks delivered by Public Diplomacy Officer, U.S. Embassy Jakarta. Everyone, please give a big round of applause to Jamie Ravitz.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. So excited to be here. Welcome to At America, and I hope you're ready for a really amazing time. This is Empire Wild's first ever performance in Indonesia, and I think you're in for a real treat. These guys, what they do with a cello, you've never seen this before, and I'm really excited for you to see it, this reimagination of music. It's also important to remember that, we're not just here to see this incredible performance, but also to celebrate 75 years of American and Indonesian relations, which is about imagination, creativity, collaboration, and that's what these guys bring to the stage. I'm so excited you're here to see this live. We're excited at the U.S. Embassy for you to be able to see this in person and experience this. I want you to enjoy yourselves, and I hope you have a fabulous night. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jamie Ravitz, as a Public Diplomacy Officer of U.S. Embassy Jakarta. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, please welcome Ken Kubota and Mitch Leong, Empire Wild!
Is this working? Yes, it is. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Hello. We are Empire Wild, came from a far, far away island called Manhattan in New York City. And we just got here yesterday. Last night, we just got here after a 30-hour travel day. And we just picked up these cellos thanks to Bryant today. And we got to know the cellos, and now we are here playing for you all. So this is very exciting. We may be slightly jet lagged, but we will do the best we can for you tonight. That first tune that we played for you is called Julio. It's a song written by a jazz cellist called Mark Summer. And we have also just released this as a single a few weeks ago. So you can stream that song on whatever streaming platform you use. Just search Empire Wild and Julio. You'll see it. And now we're going to do a little something different, I guess in the realm of jazz still. This one's called Fly Me to the Moon.
We're going to take a walk to the classical side, leave the jazz behind for a little bit, and play a composer who nobody knows unless you're a cellist. Quick show of hands. Is anyone else in the room a cellist? Anyone else play cello? Oh, few. Fantastic. Okay. So you may never hear this composer again besides tonight, but he was a famous cellist from the 1800s. And he wrote a lot of lovely music for cello, unsurprisingly. And we're going to play one of his duets, the complete duet. So it's in 3 movements. There's a fast one, a slow one, and a fast one again. So we're going to switch back from the classical. We do like to include a little bit of classical music on any program, as Ken and I are both originally classically trained cellists. And somewhere along the way, we found other pastures to visit, including the worlds of jazz and folk. This is going to be a folk tune, actually, from Quebec in Canada. And the French name for it is Le Fée des Dents. And if there are any French speakers in the audience, that translates to the fairy of teeth, or the tooth fairy. And we're going to play our own simple arrangement here of this lovely tune, the Tooth Fairy Jig. You may have noticed that Ken holds his cello sideways like a guitar. He would much rather be playing the guitar. And he's always wanting to put his bow down and play pizzicato, which looks something like this. And if you're very fancy, you can do it with the other hand as well. And if you're even fancier than that, and he is, you can do both hands at the same time, which is a little like this. And we're going to play a tune called Shadow Play, which is about 50 times faster than that, so that Ken can show you his pizzicato skills. And after that, we're going to invite Patricia up here, I think, and we're going to take some questions and talk a little bit about ourselves and our journey and how to beat jet lag and valuable things like that. So if you have any questions, that's the time. And if you don't have any questions, you have about 3 minutes to think of one while we play this tune. I want to say thanks so much for At America for having us. This is both of our first time in Indonesia. And we've been here, thank you, we've been here less than 24 hours, and we're having a fantastic time. So here goes. This is Shadow Play.
Ken Kubota and Mitch Leong, Empire Wild, everyone! We're gonna have a chit chat long way from New York to Jakarta. So how are you, Ken? You're good?
I'm doing well. I'm really full we just had a delicious meal.
A delicious meal. You tried Indonesian food, both of you?
Yeah, we've been eating a lot of Indonesian food. The hotel comes with a really good complimentary Indonesian breakfast,
Oh,
which has been great. And then we had, I guess, late lunch.
Yeah, the embarrassing thing is, and I'm sorry, we just can't remember the names of anything that we ate.
It was really good,
But
though.
it was really good.
You
was
like
really
it?
good.
Yeah, it was
It's really
great.
good.
How are you, Mitch? Do you like the meal?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Hit the spot. I think when you're jet lagged, you just look at the clock, and if it looks like a mealtime, you eat. But your body's not always convinced that it's time, but it's good.
Even after a jet lag, both of you are doing great tonight. Whoa. Is it your first time being in Indonesia, in Jakarta? So,
Yes.
yes, welcome to Jakarta, Indonesia, but especially welcome to At America.
Thank you.
We're so happy to welcome both of you. So after I ask several questions, I will open questions and answer session to the audience here. So please prepare your questions. So Ken and Mitch, I will ask about what everyone wants to know regarding your music journey. Let's go back to the point where both of you first met. You met at Juilliard when took undergraduate degree. How did your time at Juilliard bring you together to form Empire Wild? Can you share with us?
Sure. Mitch and I, we weren't friends when we were in school.
Is it true, Mitch?
If you can tell,
We weren't enemies either, but we just didn't really know each other. It's not a very big school, so you tend to know all the other cellists, like maybe just their names or their faces, but we didn't hang out or we did not play together.
yeah, as you can tell, Mitch looks very scary. So I was too scared to be his friend. But later on, after we graduated, I started a YouTube channel, to like do a lot of like pop covers called JHM Jams. And through doing that, every week I would recruit new members from my community, and one of them was Mitch. And he came and did some sessions with me, and we found that we worked well together, and we had similar tastes of wanting to explore other things that we learned from Juilliard, and we wanted to try non-classical things. So we found a nice little fit, and we started working together more and more often, and Mitch suggested one day to maybe, instead of playing other people's works, it might be fun to start writing our own music, and that was kind of the start of Empire Wild.
Okay, so how about you, Mitch? What's your point of view when you started the Empire Wild?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much sums it up. I think Juilliard is very classically oriented. It's very intense. You're practicing a lot, but you're working on a very specific kind of repertoire, a certain kind of music, and there are certain works, in the canon that you're supposed to play and you're supposed to know, and that there's no time for anything else really. So when we graduated, I think we were both really interested in doing other styles. And so you sort of find other people who are also interested in that, and that brought us together.
Okay, well, so talking about the genre blending, can you describe your genre blending approach and how you integrate your jazz, pop, folk, and classical influences into your music? It's gonna be like more serious.
Yeah, so I think when I was in undergrad, I was listening to music online, and I found this duo, actually, the fiddle duo with fiddle, violin, and cello, and they were playing Scottish music, and they were doing a lot of things I had never heard happen on the cello. Like, I'll show you. Oh, well, thank you. So they were doing a lot of percussive techniques, like this chop that you saw me do in the first half of the show here. That looks like this, which is a fairly recent bow technique where you're turning the bow into like a percussion instrument, like a drum. You're not trying to get a nice, beautiful sounds. You're trying to get nothing. And so there's so much you can do when you start playing around with that, but nobody at Juilliard had ever shown me that. I had never heard it before in my life. So I wrote the cellist an email and I was like, what are you doing? And where can I learn? And that started me on a path to playing other types of styles. And so I'm often trying to get us, the two of us, to play more folk music. And Ken comes from sort of a different direction as far as non-classical stuff is concerned.
How about you, Ken?
I really liked growing up listening to a lot of pop music, a lot of Japanese pop music, a lot of Korean pop music, and jazz and American pop. So I wanted to be a guitarist when I was a kid, and I bought a guitar, and I watched a lot of YouTube tutorials, and I still sucked. I was very bad. So I didn't want to give up on the guitar. So since I had already started learning the cello at that point in my life, I just took the techniques of guitars and tried to see if I could apply it to the cello. And that was kind of like the start of my journey away from the classical and exploring that. And I think for us, the blending of the different genre doesn't seem too out of the ordinary, because we see all music. If it's good, it's good music. It doesn't really matter if it's a different genre for us. So we come from kind of more of that approach. If we like the music and if we think it's good, then we give it a try with what we have and see what we can learn and take from the different genres and styles that's out in the world.
Okay, so outside as a cellist, you're also a YouTuber, Ken.
I am a YouTuber, yes.
Okay, so I want to open a question and answer session from our audience. Who wants to ask a question? Yes, a guy with a glasses over here. Yeah, please wait for the mic, sir. We will give you the mic, and then you can stand up with the glasses one. Yes, you can stand up, say your name, and then ask your question.
Hello, my name is Fari. I came with my wife. We both players as well. She plays piano and classics, and I play guitars and drums. And I want to ask about the musical influence, especially with what you guys did earlier. Like I saw some fingerstyling, I saw some new groove techniques in you, like what we call usually in the guitar like fingerstyle, right?
Yeah.
And how do you what do you think about the what about the classical, like your basic, right? Is it influence you guys a lot, right? I mean, as the players, right? So how do you grow your music into something else, like what we heard just now from you guys? Is it still important for future? I mean, like students. If we want to start? Thank you.
Nice. Thanks for the
Thank you so much.
question. It's a great one. I think starting from the importance maybe of allowing yourself to explore different things other than something that you might be trained in. I think for me, the reason why I play music is because I want to create a sense that you're not alone in the world, right? And this whole feeling of, as a human being, we go through a lot of different experiences and emotion and live life. And I think a lot of those are shared experiences across the board. And I think music allows those experiences to build a community for us to be able to share different kind of emotions that allow us to feel not alone in the world and the things that we go through, I think, in life. So by getting to explore different things other than what you might be trained in allows you to, I think, tap into different communities who have different kind of life experiences that you might resonate with. And those are the things that I find attractive about getting to explore other things. And with like the fingerstyle things too, I really enjoyed. I don't know if you know a guitarist named Andy McKee. Yeah, he's like one of the first ones that I really got into, and I was like, how can I recreate some of these things on the cello? And when you dive into that world, there's a whole community of fingerstyle guitarists and diving into that. Yeah. I think so. It's really cool once you get in. Then I think it really opens up a sense of community, and the things that you feel are your small, independent, niche passions. Turns out that there's a lot of other people who enjoy the same kind of things you do, and that makes me feel less lonely, I think, in the world, which is nice.
Just to say a quick thing about that, about classical technique and like sort of its importance or not. I think if you're starting off, it's still really good and important to like get your scales down and your arpeggios down and all the stuff that is sort of considered part of the classical tradition in terms of how to create a beautiful sound on your instrument, whatever instrument it is, so that when you decide to do something else with those skills, you're still able to make the instrument make the sounds you're looking for. I think that opens up that strong foundation is really important for no matter what you eventually end up doing with it.
Okay, thank you so much for the first question. Next question, yes, you. Can you stand up, please?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your music with us. I don't really play cello, but my daughter did since third grade. She's in college in NYU now, but not for music, but for creative writing. My question is that, first, what inspired you to choose cello instead of other instruments? And then second, how long did it take for the training itself, or like how long have you learned cello to be as good as this? Thank you.
Thank you so much for the questions. Mitch and Ken?
So in third grade, I decided I wanted to play the drums. And I went, and I was really lucky because my school had a very good music program, and so good, in fact, they sort of forced you. You had to play something. I wanted to play the drums. I went to the band instructor. I was like, I'm going to play drums. He gave me a book. He gave me a drum pad. And then in fourth grade, you actually get to like choose and take the instrument home. And somehow, and I've kind of lost track of how, the strings teacher and my parents conspired. They got together, and lo and behold, I started playing the cello instead. Maybe they didn't want a drum set in the house. And I really liked it, and I stuck with it. And then I've just been working at it ever since. So years and years of trying, and still figuring it out. I'm not sure that you ever really get exactly where you want to be.
Ken, how about you?
For sure. I started because both of my parents are musicians. My mom's a pianist. My dad is an amateur, but he's a flute player. And as a kid, I would always see them play together, and just the two of them, and also with their friends. And I was really jealous of them because they seemed to have, be having a great time, and I wasn't part of it. So I begged, but my mom didn't want me to do music because she knew it was a hard life. So she was trying very hard to get me to do like different art classes or like go do this, go do that, but not music. She failed miserably. Here I am. But initially, my dad wanted me to try the bassoon, like because he's a woodwind player, and he's like, we need a low register instrument. And he tried to look for an instrument, but there's no kid-sized bassoons, and we also couldn't find a teacher. So he's like, I guess cello is also a low instrument. You can try that instead. So it didn't matter to me what it was. My dad's just like, there's a cello teacher, try this. And that's what I have, and that's what I've been doing. And here I am. So it's been over 2 decades, I think, yeah.
So we know fact that since a kid, Ken wants to be a guitarist and Mitch wants to be a drummer. So yeah.
You did really well.
But great both of you as the American duo cellist and perform here. So yeah. Yes, can we give a big round of applause? So another questions maybe from yes. Yes, you? Okay. You can stand up. Grab your mic. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for the sharing the performance. It's beautiful. Okay. Let me introduce myself. My name is Pajay Pulakila. I am from Horizon University, Indonesia. Let me ask the question for Mr. Ken and Mr. Michelle. The question is, what has been the biggest challenge is blending different genre together, like genre folk, genre American, pop, and genre rock.
Pop, jazz.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you. That's all.
Yeah, the biggest challenge. Yeah. You want to take this one first, Mitch?
Yeah, the biggest challenge in the different genres, right?
In the genre blending, yeah.
Yeah, I think. Oh man, that's a good question. Let's see. Well, the thing is, like, all of them have like different. They have years and years of tradition behind them. All the genres, right? And as I have spent many years in the classical tradition, I feel that I can speak about it and play from a place of authority a little bit. I have a piece of paper from school that says I know how to do it. So stepping into like the folk community, as you know, after I've been playing cello for a long time, and there are people who grew up in that space and like live and breathe that music, and I love it, but I don't have that foundation, but I can play the cello. And so there's a bit of a challenge being like, well, yes, I can make all the sounds, but like, do I really know what's going on? You know, am I really doing it, or am I just doing my way? Like in the folk land, that's really hard. In the jazz is really hard. Jazz is hard. And so I think in terms of genres, I have the most to learn in jazz. The jazz folks at Juilliard are amazing. They can play anything, improvise over anything. In pop, my biggest challenge is not rushing. I just like to play. It goes faster and faster, and I can't figure out why.
Yeah, I think the closest analogy probably is that learning a new style of music for us is like learning a new language, and it might share the same alphabet, but it's completely different sentence structures, different vocabulary, different culture behind everything. So for us, you know, we know some of the alphabets, but we just don't know a lot of the culture, the vocabulary, the sentence structure. And we can do things in a way where you can still communicate, you know, like some of our feelings, even if our, you know, maybe our Indonesian, you know, might not be perfect, but you will still maybe understand little things from the way that we're trying to communicate things to you. And similarly, like in jazz and pop and in folk, we do what we can to try to communicate what we want, but sometimes the language barrier is the challenge for us to still learn and get better at the language itself.
Okay, so one more question from the audience. Okay.
Okay, so my name is Farid Setiawan. I'm from Horizon University. So I want to ask, are there any specific genres that you love to explore for your future music? Thank you.
Nice question over here.
I really love electronic dance music. You know, I grew up loving EDM, and obviously the cello, like this combination is not very electronic dance music. But I wonder, you know, sometimes like what can we do to include some of the excitement and the dance and some of the elements of that. So that's something that I'm a little curious about, to see what elements in that genre we can fuse or take. I don't know if you have things, Mitch, that you want to explore that we haven't yet.
I think I would love to feel more or have some understanding of like tango. Tango and like rumba and some of those other sort of Latin dance traditions. The music is so great. Also in like my folk interests, I know a lot of Scottish tunes and like those rhythms and those ideas. I love Nordic folk music from Scandinavia, like Finland and Sweden. You know, they have a whole nother tradition, and I know some of that stuff. I'd love to know more about that.
Maybe we're gonna see and hear about the upcoming album in 2025
There you go.
about
It's
the
going
genre.
to be Swedish electronic dance music. So.
That's nice. So, last but not least, my question from me. So you come here to perform at the magical event to celebrate the 75th anniversary of Indonesia-U.S. relations. How do you think cultural exchange through music fosters mutual understanding and appreciation regarding this celebrations about 75th relations?
I think, well, you know, they often say music is the universal language, which is very easy to say, but you know, it's another thing to see it in action, and I think it's 100% true. And the very fact that we're here and all of you are here and we're sharing this time and space together and having a good time speaks to that. And I think it breaks down barriers. I'm embarrassed to say I tried to learn a few words of Indonesian this morning. It's not going well.
What you learn?
But I'm working on it. But I can play for you. And so, you know, without any words being exchanged, I think we, you know, can leave an hour like this feeling like we all know each other a little bit better. And, you know, that's what relationships are all about. So music is just such a powerful way of building those relationships.
How about you, Ken?
I think Mitch said it beautifully. I think, you know, similar to what he said, it is a beautiful way to be able to connect with other people of completely different backgrounds or different cultures, yet we are all humans that experience very similar things. I think across the world, you know, we all experience joy, we all experience love, and heartbreaks, you know, grief. And it doesn't matter if, you know, the languages that we speak are different or the cultures that we have grown up with are different. And I think music allows that bridge between us without sharing maybe the exact language that we speak, but we're able to connect through the sound and the emotion that's behind it, building this beautiful community together.
Okay, can we give a big round of applause to Empire Wild? So, ladies and gentlemen, one more time. Ken Kubota and Mitch Leong, Empire Wild.
We're going to play a little bit more for you. I have a few more selections here. We're going to start with a Scottish tune. What do you know? This is a tune called The Boxing Reels. It's a Scottish reel, but it's actually written by an American fiddler named Jeremy Kittle. He's great, and if you like this type of music, you should totally check him out. He plays it on the violin. I'm going to play it on the big violin.
Is this working? Yes, it is. Nice. The next thing that we're going to play for you is a tune by an up-and-coming indie artist by the name of Johann Sebastian Bach. Maybe you know him. He's popular these days. So he wrote a series of unaccompanied cello suites called the Bach Cello Suites, and we are going to play one of the movements from it. And this one is from the sixth suite in D major. We're going to play you the Sarabande. Now, the sixth suite is not written for a cello with 4 strings. It's written for a cello with 5 strings. And as you can tell, we don't have 5 strings. So often cellists struggle playing this by themselves because we don't have 1 string. So now that we have 2 cellists, we have 8 strings. Problem solved. Here's the Sarabande.
We have one more to share with you today. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for At America for having us. Thank you for everyone who's making this trip possible. And we hope we can say a word to you after the show. Come say hello. We're going to play a tune that we wrote called For Chiaki. For Chiaki, Chiaki being Ken's mom. It's a tune for her, and we'll wrap up. That'll go right into a fast dance called North Beat.
Ken Kubota, and Mitch Leong. Everyone, can we give a big, big round of applause to Empire Wild? You can also visit www.empirewild.com to get to know more about them. And thank you so much, everyone, for coming, especially our audience from Horizon University. The last, to get to know more about Ad America, you can follow our social media. We have on Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube, AT America. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. My name is Patricia Elizabeth, and see you at the next Ad America events. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming.